Hey guys, what's good? Mike here, Laker Talk. Let's talk Laker basketball. This is Lakers offseason talk. We're less than 2 weeks away from opening training camp, and excited about that. Let's talk Kyle Kuzma. He was in an article the other day. Mike Trudell wrote a great article about highlighting Kyle Kuzma and his offseason workouts and stuff like that and what he's been working on. So let's talk Kyle Kuzma. He is our rising young star, and I want to talk about him. Now, I want to talk about obviously what he's good at. I want to highlight that, but most importantly, I want to talk about what he needs to work on to become this player that he wants to be, and truly where I think we need him to grow. Now, first and foremost, let's just talk about the facts. The facts are he's, an above average player. He's too quick for the fours. He's too big for some threes. He has above average footwork, ball handling, can put the ball on the floor, and he has above average skills scoring the basketball around the rim. And he can shoot at a high rate, right? So the guy's a stud. Like slow fours can't guard him, right? He can put the ball on the floor and he can get past those guys. You're small, he can shoot over you, and he's big, 6'9", whatever. And the guy's got some quirky, I consider Kyle Kuzma kind of quirky when it comes to some of his moves around the rim, the floating sky hook. He reminds me kind of like Cedric Ceballos. Cedric Ceballos had a variety of ways to score around the rim. He can do baseline, use the backboard, all types of stuff. Kyle Kuzma has all those gifts when it comes to really good footwork and just traditionally around the rim. The guy can hoop, right? He can put the ball in the bucket, right? He showed that in summer league when he went up against Jason Tatum. Now, the difference between him and a Jason Tatum, which let's just talk about this. So we know that Kyle Kuzma is a stud, and plus we are paying him like $1.2 million a year. He's obviously a steal when it comes to that, right? So in all intents and purposes, the guy's he's a stud. He's like an amazing asset for the Lakers. But where he needs to improve in order for him to become, I think, a starter or not just a role player and take his game to the next level, I think he's like a $10 million player a year right now. But to take that from $10 million to, let's say, 17, 18, 19, if I was Kyle Kuzma's family, this is where you need to improve. Number one, you need to improve on you need to get other people involved in the play. Kyle Kuzma, if you look at all his plays, generally he gets the ball within 3 to 4 seconds, he's looking to score the basketball. Very rarely does he observe the floor and make plays for other people, right? If he can add that to his game, it would raise his value and his stock tremendously. Now he'll become a threat, a dual-way threat, right? Where he draws attention because he can shoot over people, he can score the basket at the hoop. But if he can start getting other people involved, observing the floor, taking a few seconds before he attempts to score the basketball, seeing if a guy's open, seeing if a guy's cutting, that would take his game to the next level. Ball handling, he has good ball handling skills, like one-on-one, he can do that. So I don't think that's an issue. But I just think like more of like just getting other players involved. Think of how great Paul Gasol is and just his ability to get other people involved. The Joker dude from Denver Nuggets, right? Guys like that who can get other people involved, kind of like play at a decent pace in some aspect before you actually utilize your skills to score the basketball, it will rise and take your game to another level. Now, obviously, he has a different type of player than those guys, but you get my point. Now, the getting other players involved is the one. The other biggie, we all know, is the defense. He needs to not only he won't ever become a great two-way player, in my opinion. I think that's like incredibly hard to do. But what he's got to do is start having the defensive effort, and his defensive IQ needs to rise a little bit. Meaning he needs to start studying what should I be doing on the defensive end, That's where he needs to start. It's not about the effort. A lot of people put in effort. Jordan Clarkson was that type, right? He put in the effort, but his IQ level wasn't there, like in terms of what exactly should I be doing on the defensive end. And then that led to him not putting in, like really being committed on the defensive end in terms of really putting down the effort and saying, hey, I'm going to impact the game on the defensive end, right? If he can give us more of that, that's going to take him from coming off the bench to actually someone needing to fit him in the starting lineup. If he kind of, like in the article, the Mike Trudell article, he was talking about the stuff he was working on, you know, like more like ball handling, perimeter stuff. In my opinion, he already does that at an above average rate. So that is kind of like light work for him. Where his 95% of the focus needs to be is, how do I get better as a defensive player, and what effort should I need to be doing? How do I raise my defensive IQ? If he can do that, guaranteed, it will take his value from what I think being a one-dimensional player, meaning like just a role player, somebody to come in and actually score the basketball, to now you're looking at $17, $18 million a year type of player, and you need to be starting, right? So, but it takes that defensive IQ, that defensive commitment, and so that's where I see Kyle Kuzma needs to improve. If I was family and I'm like, yo, you want to get paid $20 million a year and get that contract and be that franchise player, that's where you need to improve. If he doesn't do those things, you mark my words. Mark my words. If you look at guys like Crawford, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, Swaggy P, like just guys who can score the basketball and can do all these different things, you will remain in the league for years and years to come. But trust me, in a 15-year career, you would have bounced around different teams. And it's weird. It's like, why can't those guys find a squad? It's because they don't impact the game on both ends of the floor. You have to offer more than just scoring the basketball to have that longevity and that value where somebody's going to pay you, okay, a big contract for 4 years, and you know, and try to want to keep you. So in my opinion, that's where Kyle Kuzma needs. Now, having said that, if he can improve on these areas that I'm talking about, guaranteed he will become an all-star for many, many, many years to come. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Kyle Kuzma. Right now, we got him for 4 years. He's a bona fide stud. He does everything that we need him to do in terms of, you know, that we ever thought that he was going to provide us, you know, coming in a second round pick. Or was he a late round pick, right? I forget, was he second round pick or just late? I don't know. He was just a late round pick. Anyway, but yeah, he's more than filled out what we picked him at, and you know, first team all rookie and so forth, and everybody loves him. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Kyle Kuzma. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on what you think he needs to improve on and where he will be and what we need him to do for us as a team. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, subscribing. As always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MikeSportsLA. I'll let you guys. Peace.